Welcome all to my channel. Please subscribe if you can subscribe. It'd be great if I get subscribers. More specifically, I found out that if you could get 1,000 subscribers, then you can monetize apparently. So it'd be great if I could get 1,000. Ideally, I'd love to get 1,000,000 subscribers. And I said if I've gotten 1,000,000 subscribers, I would do a viral, one of those viral dance trends that are as popular at that moment in time for the and stream it at that one. The reason why I would want 1 million is because the fact if you get 1 million, I believe you get the little golden play button, which I would love to get. Anyways, to the point, like or dislike this video, comment if you wish to. I do read all my comments, or I do look at all my comments and read them, and I try to answer them if there are questions left on there as well too. And I do love feedback as well too. So if you want to leave feedback on the comment section, that'd be great. Um, all right, I mentioned in one of my earlier videos from a while back related to when I was looking at Amazon's Thursday Night Football, and I was like, all right, it's only a matter of time before others start streaming as well too. To the point where they'll start charging more, and you'll have some streaming aspects, whether it be Netflix or I even said YouTube at one point. Well, turns out I was actually correct. Where the NFL Sunday Ticket now is going to YouTube or YouTube TV with the premium YouTube channel, basically, for NFL Ticket, which is pretty great for some people actually if they want to get it, because I mean, DirecTV was the only one that actually had it at the time. I mean, it was like what $1.5 billion they were paying annually, and now YouTube is willing to pay them $2 billion annually. I'm like, whoa, okay. Do not be surprised if YouTube adds other features similar to what Amazon's doing right now. As far as like other aspect, with the Thursday Night Football, as far as adding certain real time stats along the way, as well as other, third not third party views, but more of like other angles to view and such, etc. I would not be surprised if Google starts doing that, or in this, yeah, Google/YouTube starts doing that. Um, the only thing is now because of that, it comes down to the Super Bowl. What happens with the Super Bowl? Now, I think it's definitely going to be a case where right now it's only going to be ABC, NBC, and CBS and Fox. Those are the big five that could only stream at this point. Not stream it as far as um, show the Super Bowl. More often because the fact is like with the Super Bowl, it has to be over the free air, so it has to be available over free air basically. So that's why you won't see Netflix, um, Netflix, or Amazon, and any other streaming services, maybe even Hulu, trying to get access to it, because you know what? It's one of those things where you have to display a game at least on freemium TV at that point, or over the air, basically. Over the air is what I should be saying. Um, so I mean, right nowadays you can still watch football in your local area over, just getting an HD antenna, or even just getting an antenna on there and then hooking up to your TV and seeing it from there. But in reality, the one drawback is you can't do rewinds or a DVRing in ways. Like you'll have to go the route of a VCR in a way, in that aspect type of thing. But I mean, in this situation though, with the fact that YouTube has now inked the deal to have NFL Sunday Ticket, makes it easier for quite a number of people now, because a lot of people do have YouTube TV, and having YouTube TV, having the ability to now view your favorite team outside of that local market is what a lot of people love to do, and I would love to have done that. To be honest, I would love to have seen the Giants being out here in California, the New York Giants, and a lot of the Giants games. Honestly, it was very hard to do unless they were on a national game level, or two, if YouTube was displaying whatever it was. But at that time, I would, or two, if the Giants had their own channel, but which they don't, of course. So like each NFL team doesn't have that aspect. But I think because of the fact that what we're seeing with basketball and baseball, and a little bit of hockey too, do not be surprised where football teams basically start saying, you know what, why do we have to? We'll stream with them, but also give the ability for others to pay for the channel, like the way um, MSG. I'm from the Northeast. MSG being the ability to where they only, you pay for MSG to watch the Knicks and Rangers, or get the Yes Network with, for specifically for the Yankees, and SNNY for the New York Mets. Don't be surprised. There's going to be a team that NFL team that's going to do that. With which team, I don't know. I think it's more of a case where because it comes down to the broadcast rights as well too. So you won't see that just yet. But there's going to be an owner that's going to challenge it. Jerry Jones is not going to be that owner. You would think he is because he was kind of that maverick owner that was going to do it. But no, I don't think he's going to be that maverick owner that's going to do it. I think it's going to be a new owner that comes on board, kind of one of those like maybe young entrepreneur, like a Mark Cuban type person that buys that who if possible by getting an NFL team will most likely challenge that aspect and start working off to the point of like trying to define their own network at that point as well too. Specifically, if you're a tech entrepreneur, if that matters as well too. Um, so it's it's an interesting way things are going right now, basically with sports as far as how they're being streamed or displayed over media or mediums for that matter. MLB has their own app. NFL Network has their own app, of course, as well too, which they work directly in conjunction with whomever. So it's another aspect as well too. I'm surprised, to be honest with you, that NFL Network is like, you know what, we don't need the NFL ticket. I mean, but again, it's another like one to two, well, no, in this case, $2 billion a year of revenue, which is very beneficial for them now. So it's a question of how many DirecTV customers have actually bought this NFL Sunday ticket. Now, if people start buying it off of YouTube TV and start adding it onto YouTube TV becomes a major player. I mean, it is already a major player right now, but it becomes a much major player, to the point where like you'll see, essentially, you know, uh, Hulu, or in this case Disney, jumping in at that point as well too. Disney Plus, HBO, and or Discovery, Discovery, as well as Comcast. Comcast has already got NBC anyways at this point right now. Disney has ABC, and Viacom or Paramount has CBS. So Viacom has CBS. It's just a matter of like those three big boys now creating their own, trying to worry about what YouTube is doing or Google's doing. And I would not be surprised a year from now, a lot of these major corporations going against Google for that and charging against them, saying, hey, it's anti whatever, basically, some form of anti monopoly aspect or something like that. Something related to the actual broadcasting rights of the NFL game packages and such. Um, but yeah, I mean, I did mention it. Like, I don't remember which videos, but if you go back to one of my earlier videos, you will see that I did actually talk about when I mentioned about Amazon Prime and such. I'm like, you know what? It's only a matter of time before someone else jumps in. I'm surprised Netflix did not jump in on that. It probably would have made more sense with them more than YouTube TV, because of the fact that Netflix needing more users to come on board and competing with the Disney Pluses and the Time Warners, etc. Basically, that or Discovery Plus, whatever it may be, in HBO Max, that they would need, and Peacocks and the Paramount Pluses, that they need, beside content, now more relevant live content as well too. Because a lot of the cases, people still having cable TV in a ways, more often than not, are really using it for sports more than anything else. And Google realized that, or in this case, YouTube's division realized that. Same thing with Amazon. You could have really good content, but you still want live aspects as well too. So do not be surprised if Netflix jumps into the sporting world and starts streaming live sports, whether it be baseball, basketball, or hockey, in this matter, or MLS in that aspect. I mean, I don't think there's an actual MLS streaming rights at this point. If someone gets in on board right now and starts displaying it a little bit more freely in ways and more aggressively, I think MLS will become a little bit more popular at this point, to the point where it's the way like the Premier League built out in England, basically. I mean, honestly, Premier League '92 is when it kind of first started out, and like look where it's at now. It's the league to be in with Manchester United or Arsenal. So I mean, from that, do not be surprised. I mean, I don't want to say do not be surprised, but I will say this is like if Netflix were to jump into and stream MLS games, I think that will definitely help them out in the long run, not in the short term, but the long run for sure. It's just a matter of showing that popularity. Because like the thing is, people are on Netflix. They get Netflix, and they want Netflix. People were leaving Netflix because the fact is there wasn't enough good content. If you show some games, even golf for that matter, I think people will come to them and start using them at that point. So like in this situation, if Netflix were to do something like this, they would jump on, or even for that matter, Hulu, which now I think kind of is semi-owned half, three-quarters of the way by Disney, anyways. Um, but like I said, in this situation, if Netflix wants to stay relevant in the aspect of content, but like not only having content like HBO and such, and Showtime, but also um, scripted content more than anything else. I think they also need to do some live sports as well too, like the way HBO and Showtime did with the fights, boxing and MMAs. I mean UFC fighting. Netflix, I think Netflix has, I think, the paradigm to shift into it, or at least go into that, and create it as not as a separate entity, but still as part of its Netflix, but as a separate arena basically for live content. I think Netflix should do that. If they do that, and they have the technology to support it, and I think they have the cash capital to do that as well too. I think they can grow extensively at that point. It's just a matter of who will take, no, not who will take, but who will be the broadcasting rights, or who will own the broadcasting rights to MLS. I think MLS and golf are the two biggest things that will be, and tennis as well too. Those are the three biggest things right now that people aren't too into per se. But I think MLS is on the lower end compared to like tennis and golf, because golf and tennis, they go up there immediately. If you get MLS and start streaming MLS, you'll get a lot more people jumping into MLS. Just like with what's that called, Formula One, because of Netflix is not Need to Survive, Drive to Survive, the Formula One documentary series, docu series. Formula One became very, very popular, and ESPN, as a result of that, start seeing more and more users jumping into their platform to watch the F1 games, F1 races. Sorry, Formula One races. Um, I would say this: if again Netflix were to stream MLS games, I think it might do wonders for them as well. Not only for Netflix, but the sport as well too. And the only reason I bring it up is because the fact is, in the U.S., soccer is like on the lowest tier in here. I mean, it's just like in the same boat as lacrosse and such. I mean, globally, we have a large. It's the largest sport out there. Locally, here in the states, it's not. It only becomes very popular when you have something when it's related to the national team, the U.S. team, basically, that they do something really well, and hey, they go in, and then you have that moment for like a short period of time, and then everything comes back to normal at that point. And that's why they try to promote MLS. Can MLS gain its popularity? I think it can, and I think if someone actually were to like I said, essentially provide some sort of streaming aspect, and I would say this in this situation, Netflix makes absolute sense. Not even Netflix, even Fubo TV actually too. Honestly, Fubo TV, because the fact that they worked with buying, um, the Behind is what the South American network of like distributing broadcasting of like South American football, soccer. If Fubo TV were to own the rights to MLS and broadcast MLS, they might gain a lot more. They'll definitely get up there at that point as well too. To be honest, I don't know if Fubo TV does do this right now, but honestly, if they were to do that and like broadcast live MLS games, I think you might see a higher end of subscriptions at that point as well too. And also the fact is, if like Fubo TV were to get more extraneous content as well too into that, they might work on that point and then compete with the Netflixes and the YouTube TVs out there as well too. But if Netflix wants to stay more relevant, beside the content itself, I think they should start streaming some games. And in this case, I think MLS makes more sense more than anything else. With that, if you think I'm wrong, or think I'm right, or if whatever it is, let me know. Leave a comment in the comment section, or give me some feedback on that. I'd love to like discuss this. This would be a great discussion, basically. If you have a question about it, I'll try to answer with the, another video maybe or something like that. I don't know. Uh, but with that, as I always, usually it's unfiltered, unedited, and unrehearsed. Until next time.